I'm Edward Warfield. I'm the publisher of Citybiz, and I'm honored today to interview Caroline Hecker, who is the managing partner at Rosenberg, Martin, and Greenberg. Welcome, Caroline.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Can you provide a brief introduction to Rosenberg, Martin, Greenberg, the number of lawyers, the offices, practice areas?
So we're a full service business law firm. We have approximately 40 lawyers. Our main office is located in downtown Baltimore. We have satellite offices in Annapolis and Howard County, and our core practice areas are things that businesses generally need: business litigation, real estate, business transactions and business planning, commercial lending, tax and wealth planning, creditors' rights, and white-collar criminal defense and investigations.
So on January 3rd of next year, you will be appointed managing partner, the first female managing partner and third managing partner in the history of the firm. Can you tell us about that decision and your vision for the firm?
Yeah, this is a really exciting time for the firm as we transition from the founders' generation to the next generation of lawyers. The firm has had a really successful business model that I don't intend to change. We provide exceptional service on sophisticated matters at efficient rates. It's big firm service without the big firm price tag. And we have a really talented group of lawyers who are all creative thinkers and excellent advocates. And my goal is to continue more of the same.
So you joined Rosenberg, Martin, Greenberg in 2007 with a practice focus on land use and zoning in Baltimore City. Can you tell us about your career and share some of the highlights of your career?
Yeah, if you had asked me when I was in law school what I thought I was going to do with my career, I never would have imagined myself in private practice in land use law. I ended up in this field largely by chance, but it turns out that I really love my job. And I feel like I got really lucky in that regard. One of my favorite things about practicing land use law is that there's tangible evidence to what I do and the projects that I've worked on. There are buildings that exist because of the work that I've done, and I love being able to drive around Baltimore and see the physical evidence of my work. I've really had the good fortune to work on a number of projects, a real wide variety of types of projects, from shopping centers to residential projects to industrial sites and institutional projects. And the variety is really what keeps it interesting.
So during COVID, between 2020 and 2021, Rosenberg, Martin, Greenberg added 7 new lawyers. Who were the new attorneys? Was that part of a strategic initiative?
So, we're always on the lookout for talented lawyers that can augment our services that we provide to our clients. And we've been really lucky over the last year and a half to pick up some really fantastic lawyers. Some of the founders of generation of lawyers have, if not retired, maybe transitioned to more senior status. We found it important to bring on some new folks. And so right before the pandemic, we added a couple of lawyers. We brought on a corporate lawyer, Gabby Shirley, as well as 2 new associates in our corporate transactions and real estate departments, Rob Berman and Ari Storch. And then during the pandemic, we were able to bring on a labor and employment attorney, Chrissy Balmarsich, a creditors' rights attorney, Jeff Greenberg, an estates and trust lawyer, Brett Baldino, and an additional transactional lawyer, Brian Saxton. And we've also added 3 new associates to deepen our bench and support the litigation and real estate groups, Tyrion Lee, Brooke Hutchins, and Drew Tilden. So it's really been great that we've been able to add so many people during the pandemic and really augment the services that we can provide.
So last year, the firm announced an initiative focused on Black-owned businesses in Baltimore. Can you tell us about that initiative and provide an update?
Internally, the BBOB, the Building Black-Owned Business in Baltimore program. The idea actually originated with our law clerk, who came to me and asked how we as a firm could support the Black Lives Matter and other social justice movements that were really prevalent at the time. And after brainstorming a bit, the answer was obvious. We have a skill set here where we can specifically assist Black-owned businesses that, due to the effects of 400 years of systemic racism, has not had access to the business networks that white business owners have traditionally had. And, one of the things that I really love about Baltimore as someone who's not from here is that the people who are from here for like generations back, and they do business with the people and the companies that their parents and their grandparents did business with. And if you look at our clients, you would notice that, many of the clients originated from personal relationships that the principals had with, some of our founders and lawyers of the firm. But historically, Black-owned businesses have not had access to these networks or business relationships. And so, we took on 5 Black-owned business clients as part of this program. And we've provided hundreds of pro bono hours of legal services to them, largely in the corporate and transactional departments. Most of the businesses were in early stages of starting up. And so we've been able to help get them up and running and get them organized to help with their contractual needs. And we're just nearing the end of the first year of the program. We're looking forward to releasing applications for the second year of the program, hopefully within the next month or so.
So I've never asked a privileged question, but I didn't know Barry was going to join us. So this is a privileged question.
Uh-oh.
Meaning that Barry has to close his ears. So what were the important initiatives of Barry, and what's his legacy?
Barry's going to be a tough act to follow. He's been a tremendous leader and a mentor to me. I think Barry has always wanted to ensure that the firm can continue to adapt to the times and meet the needs of increasingly sophisticated clients while maintaining an identity as a local Baltimore law firm. I know Barry really values having an enjoyable workplace where we all work collegially as a team and we don't take ourselves too seriously. And I think that will be his legacy.
And so what are the growth plans for the firm? And, 5 years from now, what is your legacy going to be?
That's a great question. I can't wait to see. In 5 years, I don't see us really growing astronomically in terms of numbers of lawyers. I think we're at our sweet spot right now. I think, we want to continue to bring on strong lawyers who, can continue to provide really sophisticated services to our clients. I see us being committed to downtown Baltimore. We're staying in the city. That's really important to us. And so I think, we want to continue on the same trajectory that Barry and Ben Rosenberg before him have set for us.
So let's talk about the Greenberg era, not the Hank Greenberg, but the Barry Greenberg era. So what are some of the highlights during your stewardship of Rosenberg, Martin, Greenberg?
Well, I think, look, the biggest one, I think we've about doubled in size in the 12 years that I've been managing partner from where we were when I took over for Ben to where we are now. So, we went from being, a small boutique firm to what, I'll call a full service business firm for the types of clients that we have, which are, primarily privately held businesses, individuals, investors who are doing business in the Mid-Atlantic area. So, the way I've looked at it, without, I didn't have aspirations to be, a big law firm to get to a couple of hundred lawyers as, some of my peers who I grew up with, have built big firms. That was never the aspiration. As Caroline said, is, the aspiration for this firm was to have an enjoyable place to do work, not to take ourselves too seriously as people in this firm, but to take our work very seriously and take our clients very seriously, which is what we've done. And I think, as to second what Caroline said, and I appreciate her saying it, the legacy is that we've continued in a tradition of doing exceptional work for our clients, but at the same time, not taking ourselves too seriously while we've been doing it.
And can you share with us the decision to choose Caroline as the next managing partner?
Well, it was a consensus. I mean, it was not, it was not any lobbying that a decision had to be made. I mean, I can say without, any qualification, as I started to say over the last couple of years that, I wanted somebody to take over. It was important. While I was still active in the firm, I thought to have somebody from the next generation to take over as managing partner of the firm. I mean, it's hard. I mean, look, I've been warning Caroline, I've had, 2 full-time jobs for the last 12 years and then some with some of the challenges that we've had in the marketplace over the last few years. But we are very fortunate in the fact that Caroline had, shown herself as a leader within the firm, for a number of years. Everyone trusts Caroline. Caroline, has shown herself to be, a true leader within the firm as well as with her practice. So, it really wasn't a much of a discussion. It really was, a consensus when I started sharing at least my view that it was time for somebody to take over for me.
And what impact do you think she will have on the firm?
I think she'll be a breath of fresh air, given how sour I can become after doing this for so long. I think it's a fresh perspective. I think it is a perspective of somebody who wasn't here when we started the firm, which is, quite frankly, I think a good thing, because she has absorbed what this firm is all about, and she will continue with, I think, the things that make our firm particularly unique as a law firm in this market. But at the same time, she's going to bring a fresh look to all that from both the generational point of view and her life experiences and her firm experiences.
So Caroline and Barry, is there any part of the Rosenberg, Martin Greenberg, or your personal stories that you want to share with us that you haven't shared?
My perspective of it is it is very important that the firm stay in hands that will keep and stay constant with the type of firm that Ben and I established 35 years ago, however long it's been. That was important. And with Caroline, I have extreme confidence that the legacy that Ben and I have left her with, which is exactly what we keep saying, which is doing excellent work and not to take ourselves too seriously, will be in safe hands. So that's not exactly answering your question, but I wanted to repeat that. Look, Caroline comes not just from my legacy, but from Ben's legacy, and Ben, and he was the inspiration for us starting this firm. I was just a lowly third-year associate of Frank Bernstein when Ben called me. So we have him to thank for this and for keeping the vision of this firm constant through me, and passing that to Caroline as well.
Well, I appreciate you sharing your thoughts, and we look forward to continuing the dialogue and watching Caroline's stewardship of the firm as it moves forward.